Week 11.
Week 11 picks. All right, a quick recap. On the year, I am 26, 22-1. Rosalita's 4-6. In this economy is 1-5 against the spread, 2-2 anytime touchdown props. Becky. We're above 500 with Becky.
Let's go.
Baby girl got to call me. I know she might be in town. The Latin Grammys are around.
Oh, she's for sure in town.
Yeah, yo soy fiesta. I'm ready. Let's lock in, baby. 5-4-1 is Becky. Toxic one is 7-3. Trust me is 7-3. However, on a 2-game losing streak with Trust Me, the flagship pick of the show. I'm gonna turn it around this week, George. What do you got for the week?
My record as of week 10, I'm 23-28. My Rosalita is 3-6. My In This Economy, I'm 3-1 against the spread, 4-3 in the props department. For my Becky, 7-3. I've been treating her right all year. Toxic one, 5-4. Trust Me, on the way back up for me. I'm at 3-6 with that. I have a chance this week with a perfect 5-0 record to go to 500. Coming off of going 4-1, I am feeling fucking froggy, and I'm excited because it is a banger slate of games that we got, and I'm not afraid to put some plays.
Yeah, and we said on Monday, this is not the week if you have a girlfriend, if you're dating somebody. You know, the 22%ers, they might have boyfriends or husbands. We're not doing nothing on Sunday.
Mm-mm.
All right? From morning to night, it's banger after banger. We got Chiefs-Broncos, Seahawks-Rams, Bucks-Bills, Lions-Eagles. Whoa. I want to just mention a couple of things. This might be the game of the year so far. Rams and Seahawks. George, check this out. The two best teams against the spread in the NFL this season. 7-2 straight up, 7-2 against the spread. So you're looking at 14-4 if you just blindly took the Seahawks and the Rams each week against the spread. The best two teams against the spread in the NFL this season, but both teams enter their 10th game with a win percentage of 77%, both straight up and against the spread. In the wild card era, which dates back to 1990, a year before the BOI was born, we've yet to have a matchup of teams both with a win percentage, straight up and against the spread, face each other in their 10th game or later.
Wow.
It is a historic game.
Oh, boy.
Let me ask you this.
Yeah?
Is this game one of your picks?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Yes,
Because
it
I
is.
was going to propose we should make a pick on this game.
Oh, it was my Monday winner, baby. And
Okay.
I mean, fuck, bro. I'll just say it. If you watch the show on Monday, you'll know I'm taking the Rams. And I was elated as soon as I found out that they were going with the all-black uniforms. Chef's kiss. It's a fucking funeral for those Seahawks coming into SoFi.
So what do you have? What is your pick exactly? And let's start with that.
We're going to go with the Rams as my trust me.
Ooh, okay.
And this is why Monday winners is very important. The Rams were -2.5. It is now Rams -3 at most locations. That half a point is extremely important, but I'm willing to take that with the Rams this week. So Rams -3 is my trust me. The Seahawks are one of those teams that this year have exploded on people, in the first half. When they are faced with another comparable team that is going to slow them down early,
Talk to him, bro.
and they have to play from behind, just watch. I don't want to alt spread this game because I respect the hell out of the Seahawks. I do.
I love this so much.
The Seahawks this season, in the first half, they're 7-2 against the spread this year, second to the Patriots, another team that starts very fast. Darnold plays really good in the first half. 12 touchdown passes, 2 interceptions, 75 completion percentage. It's ranked second in the NFL for the first half. However, Sean McVay doesn't lose to the Seahawks, especially when Matt Stafford is at quarterback. Let's not reference the game that happened last year in which Geno Smith and Jimmy Garoppolo were the starting quarterbacks on the field that week between these two teams. This, like you said, Nick, historic matchup, and McVay wins the coaching battle. If you think that both of these teams are even offensively and defensively, go straight to the coaching battle and you'll know immediately he's 12-5 against the spread versus the Seahawks while coaching the Rams. He's 11-2 against the spread since 2019, covering the spread by 5 points per game. This is going to be a statement made extremely loudly. Everybody after this week, Stafford right now, his odds to win MVP, plus 275. Stafford throws for another 4 touchdowns, gets his name in that elite company that you had listed off on Monday of quarterbacks that have thrown for 4 touchdown passes in a game consecutively. Add these Seahawks to the list, a really, really good defense. He will be minus 150 come Monday morning. If everything goes the way I expect it to go, a funeral for the Seahawks. Trust me, Rams minus 3.
Bro, I absolutely loved all that. Matthew Stafford has 25 touchdown passes and 2 interceptions through 9 games this season. This has only happened one other time in NFL history. Patrick Mahomes in 2020. He won the MVP that year. So I love it. I also have this as my Becky. It's not exactly my trust me, because I do think this is a very difficult game. But I love the Rams for this reason also. The Seahawks have been beating the shit out of people, and I like that. However, the level of competition is not the LA Rams.
Correct.
And when they've played a decent defense, they were in a bar fight. One of the most misleading scorelines of the year was 27-19 against the Texans on Monday Night Football. If you watch that game, the Seahawks had 4 turnovers. That Texans defense is legit. The Texans just couldn't do nothing on offense. When they've been tested against good opponents, they lost this year. The Niners fully healthy in week 1, and then the Bucs lit them up in Seattle. They're big wins. The Steelers, Cardinals snuck by. Barely beat the Texans with all those turnovers. They beat the Jaguars. They smoked the Commanders. They smoked the Cardinals. This is the best team they've played all year. We're on the flip side, the Rams lost a game they had no business losing to the Eagles. They've beaten the Texans. They beat the Colts. They beat, they're above 500. If I'm giving credit to Seattle beating the Jaguars, I got to give credit to the Rams. They blew them out. It was also a European game with them shits are always wacky. And then they get their get back against the Niners after they lost a game they shouldn't have lost to the Niners.
Right.
I say all that I think this is a massive, massive test for the Seahawks defense. Is it good? Yes. Is it the next Legion of Boom? Go out there and prove it this week. But I think the -3 or 2.5. What do you have?
I saw -3 on DraftKings. It was -2.5 on Monday. Either one I'm taking.
Yeah. I think alt spread is definitely in play. Full transparency. This is a pick that I'm making. I'm probably not going to bet it because I want to maybe get the 2.5, but I think I might have lost the best of that number. I kind of have too much invested in the Rams futures and the Stafford. I'd rather just sit back, watch this game, and hope he lights it up and they win, because this is a battle for the division as well, because them two are separating from the Niners the rest of the way. For me, it's Becky is the Rams as well. So we're both on the same side for this one. And then if you look at the money here, you have 74% of the tickets coming in on the Seahawks, while 67% of the money is coming in on the Rams. So this is like a pros versus Joes. And look, bro, I think the Rams are an absolute buzzsaw offensively. And the way Stafford is playing right now, this is a massive, massive game. And this game didn't get flexed to Sunday Night Football because the Sunday Night Football game is a banger as well, which leads me to my trust me.
Let's go.
Trust me. Philadelphia Eagles -2.5 against the Detroit Lions. Look, Dan Campbell, 10-0 straight up as a favorite in prime time in the regular season. However, they're not favorites in this game. I like the Eagles. They looked really bad on Monday Night Football. Cold weather. I get it. They are a cold weather team. You know, we saw them play in the snow against the Rams in the playoffs. For as much as I like backing the Detroit Lions off a loss, I like backing the Eagles after a sluggish performance. They looked pretty bad on Monday Night Football offensively. Defensively, they balled out. That defense is starting to come together.
Agreed.
And, you know, Mitchell is probably the best corner in the league no one is talking about. Yeah, we're getting a salute from an Eagles fan. Shouts to Isaiah. I think, you know, Cooper DeJean last year was getting a lot of love because he's a white DB. Let's be honest.
Correct.
We could say that. We're white guys. He's a white DB. It's going to be spotlighted way more.
Bottom line is they were throwing to the white DB side way more than they were throwing to Mitchell's side. That's all you need to know.
Yeah. It's like, bro, Patrick Surtain was like, yo, they racially profile Riley Moss. They're like, bro, he gets called for all these penalties, and he's like, yo, I think it's because he's a white DB. It's like, oh, yeah, that's hilarious that he said that. But, you know, Mitchell is balling out, and they still have the pass rush. I think they're at home. It's a primetime game. This is the team that everyone is like, the Lions. A.J. Brown is telling people to bench him in fantasy. A.J. Brown plus 210 anytime touchdown. I like that also. I just like the Eagles in this spot on Sunday Night Football. And also, I really like the Eagles because when the Lions play good teams, they tend to fold. They beat up on the Commanders. We expect that. We expected it. They were one of our plays last week that led us to being 8-2.
Yep.
Absolutely love the Eagles this week, minus 2.5.
I'm so conflicted on the total for this game because I honestly, seeing the Lions as dogs coming off of somewhat figuring it out offensively after a shit performance versus the Vikings. They really course corrected versus the Commanders. And now I'm like, the Eagles are going to take away the run. There's no way that they aren't going to have that be their main focus. This can be a shootout, in my opinion. Jamison Williams props probably will go nuts. I would say look at Devontae Adams. Dallas Goedert will be a good option. I'm excited. I didn't play this game, but there's definitely aspects of this game that I like, and it'll be a game time decision, especially if I get 3. Lions plus 3, I kind of like that.
I also want to mention that since 2022, 21-4 is what Jalen Hurts is at home. And also another trend that's really interesting. Since 2020, Jared Goff has started 9 games where his team was playing outdoors, with their last game being outdoors as well. So back-to-back outdoor games. We always talk about him being a better quarterback indoors as opposed to outdoors. They're 3-6 against the spread in those games. I just like Jalen Hurts in night games. He's 11-5 straight up when he's playing at home. And I also like the Eagles when they play good teams. They play up to their competition. The Lions don't play up to the good competition. They beat the shit out of the bad competition. I really like the Eagles minus 2.5.
Yeah. It's going to be a fun one. They definitely have a good one for Sunday Night Football. That was your trust me, right?
Yeah, give me your Becky, because I gave a Becky off your trust me. Now you give me a Becky off my trust me.
God, this one is ugly, and it had the possibility of being Rosalita, but give me the under 43.5 Chiefs at Broncos. Unders cash when Bo Nix is playing quarterback. It's now 9-3 over his last 12 games. All since the calendar flipped in 2025. This is the best mark to the under of any quarterback in the NFL. The Chiefs, with Steve Spagnuolo and his defensive mind, in a game for the division. If the Chiefs lose this one, you could pretty much pencil in wild card spot if they aren't productive the rest of the year. This game means everything. You're going to see Spags' best. The Chiefs rank second overall for coverage in the league, and the Broncos defense is on a legendary run. The Broncos defense is the first defense to have 40 plus sacks and under 30% third down conversion percentage through 10 games since the wild card era in 1990. The only other team to do that was the 2000 Buccaneers. This game at 43.5 is only 43.5 because Patrick Mahomes is playing. And when Patrick Mahomes is playing, there is a possibility that he lights it up and he scores 40 points himself. Even though this Chiefs team, they haven't done it that often, right? They have the weapons to do so. On paper, should score 30 points a game. In reality, it tends to never happen. This under is going to be a very, very, very tough one to watch. Under 43.5, Chiefs at Broncos is my Becky.
I'm glad you picked a total and you didn't pick a side. This is why context matters in everything in your life. The Broncos defense that George just raved about have played the following quarterbacks. Cam Ward.
I've played the following offensive lines.
Yeah, offensive line and quarterbacks. They've played the Titans with Cam Ward, Jake Browning with the Bengals. They played the Jets with Justin Fields. They played the Cowboys outdoors, which we've said Dallas indoors, juggernaut, except when we took them with the Cardinals, different scenario. But on the road, way different. They played the Texans, where they were losing that game until C.J. Stroud got hurt. And then they barely snuck by the Raiders if Geno Smith was a little bit competent. They've played the Colts with Daniel Jones, who we're talking about Daniel Jones in 2025 is a top 10 quarterback. They lost. Again, leverage play, totally understand. Worst call of the NFL season by far. We probably won't see a worse call. I even told you it was the worst call since the pass interference no call with your Saints and the Rams in 2018 in the NFC title game. They played Justin Herbert. They come back against the Eagles. Got to give them credit for that. But I saw my rookie go into Denver with D2 and JUCO players and do whatever he wanted to them.
Yeah.
And this juggernaut defense you're talking about. Now, Pat Mahomes is coming in off a bye, right? You want a trend? I got a trend for you right here. Patrick Mahomes. Straight up win percentage versus his own division. The highest in NFL history. 85% of the time he wins. Andy Reid and Mahomes, 30-5 straight up with extended period of time to prepare. And Mahomes, when he faces the AFC West opponents off extended period of time, 11-1. His only loss that Christmas game to the Raiders, which every single Raider fan will tell you, the way they break down that game, you would think they won the Super Bowl. You got Mahomes coming in with this offense, which has been buzzing. Off a bad performance with the Bills. And everyone's like, Denver. Bro, this is a must-win game for the Chiefs.
Yeah.
They lose this game, they're 3.5 back of the division.
That's what I'm saying. They would be in the hunt graphic the rest of the year. And wild card. You're not winning it.
Yeah. For me, I'm on the Chiefs here.
Is that one of the picks officially? What is it going to be for you?
This is my in this economy.
I love it.
This is my in this economy -4 Kansas City. Let me see this defense without Surtain too. Let me see it.
Yeah.
Do what George was raving about, and then I'll come back Monday and eat crow, and I'll be like, yo, you were right, bro. You're right. This defense is legit. But I don't think so.
I'll say this. It won't be labeled as it by the masses. This is the best defensive coordinator versus defensive coordinator matchup that we'll have probably all season until they meet again. Vance Joseph's underrated, bro. And they have a lot of stunts in games, and it's not going to be easy. And that's why I really do. I just predict this one being a field goal fest, ugly, and trying to claw out like a 17-10 win, 17-14 win is what I'm envisioning. All right. You'd given me your in this economy with the Chiefs. I'll give you my in this economy.
Okay.
Joe Flacco, over 300 passing yards, is at plus 214 right now on DraftKings. thought about parlaying this with Jamar Chase stuff or T. Higgins stuff. I'm done with that. I'm giving you enough value in the plus 214. Joe Flacco, last time he played the Steelers, absolutely roasted them. We all remember Mike Tomlin having a rant the week that they played the Bengals and saying, like, why would they trade away a player that was good enough to be their week 1 starter? Well, it's to fuck with you, Mike Tomlin. That's exactly what's going to happen in this game. The Steelers' defense was stout against the run. However, you can break through. Ladd McConkey went crazy, and I think that the same exact thing is going to happen with the 2 premier receivers that they have on the outside. I don't want any other bets tied to this game other than Joe Flacco to go crazy. In his 23 games versus the Steelers, he's thrown for 5,370 yards, 30 touchdowns, and 12 interception. In those 23 games, he's thrown for 300 yards 4 times, with the latest one happening this year. It's going to happen again. It doesn't matter that the tape is out there from the last matchup. In this situation, I think the Steelers bounce back, and I do think that the Bengals are behind because the defense for the Bengals is atrocious.
Oh.
So this is a spot in which they're going to be constantly throwing it. You know, Chase Brown for the Bengals, if you got him on fantasy, I mean, RIP, dude. Like, he could have been something special this year, but just not in the cards for it. Flacco, over 300 passing yards in this economy bet for me.
Bro, you know, as you're breaking all that down, you look at the AFC North standings. Steelers 5-4, Ravens 4-5, Bengals 3-6. But like, bro, if they just would have won those last 2 games, how crazy would our call have been with like Burrow coming back to practice now? Fuck, man, that defense is so bad. Losing to the Bears and then losing to the Jets the way they did, like, so frustrating, man. So frustrating. Because, like, that would have been fucking Dear Cincy. We did Dear Buffalo a couple years ago. It would have been Dear Cincy.
Facts.
But you know what? This division, these last couple of years, you've needed 12 wins to win it. Now, I look at it like, man, maybe 9 could get you there.
Oh, it will.
Maybe not. Because, remember, Bengals got to play the Ravens.
9 wins will win you that division.
Yeah, so, you know, fuck, man. And with Burrow maybe coming back to, like... Yeah, fuck. That just triggered me a little bit. I got a little upset. But yeah, you know, Joe Flacco's been balling, man. It's not the offense's fault that the Bengals are
Correct.
the way they are. It's the defense, and that was the biggest issue that I had with people saying Joe Burrow was going to win MVP. I know he got hurt, but even before that, I was like, man, he's the most heavily wagered guy to win MVP. He's coming off a career year. I don't see it because the team is going to be bad defensively, and it's been bad. Their first round pick, Stewart, 1 sack. Or it's 1 tackle. I saw the graphic, and it's like, well, maybe the Bengals should have let him go back to college. Remember, he was all the dispute about him signing? Yep. Yeah, that was rough. All right, Rosalita. George, you ready?
Yeah.
Am I crazy for liking the Titans plus 7.5?
I was so close to saying that this is the week, right? Coming off the bye?
Coming off the bye.
This is like their only hope. They need 14 weeks to cover the spread, or 14 days to cover the spread. You're not crazy. I contemplated it. It's not my Ursulita, but it fucking is the definition of the pick. Filthy ugly.
Filthy ugly. You got a couple of guys for the Texans that are on DNP, have not practiced yet this week. Dalton Schultz, Petrie, their kicker, Danico Autry, CJ Stroud, you know, even Davis Mills had a little bit of an injury. They're coming off such a miracle win. And here come the Titans. It's in division, coming off the bye week. If this isn't Ursulita, I don't know what is. Who the fuck wants to back a team that's 4-22 against the spread? This guy right here, baby. Ursulita, Titans plus 7.5. I can see it now, bro. Scott Hansen on Red Zone. Oh, back to Nashville where
Cam Ward on a 2-minute drive to try to win the game.
Yeah, down 4. You're like, yo, let's go. Just no pick six.
Hey, no pick six, so we cash.
Pick six. Yeah, and look, man, anytime a team has like a miracle win, the way the Texans did, coming back in the fourth quarter and then covering the spread also, Titans coming off a bye, it got to be Rosalita. Again, it's gross. It's really gross. That's why it's Rosalita, Titans plus 7.5.
Really gross would also be putting in the over of that game, 37.5. With all the injuries you listed there, though, that kind of like it's got me tempted. When there's a lot of backups on the field, you can't put the personnel and packages that you want together for certain looks. That's a offensive coordinator's dream. 37.5.
Bro, can I also give you the gambler's fallacy?
What?
They're due to cover the spread. They currently have lost 9 consecutive games against the spread after an against the spread win. So they're due to break the streak, bro.
They're due.
They're due.
That's it.
They're due. Okay, what else you got?
Rosalita for me. Another total here. I'm fucking loving the totals. They're treating me well this year. Over 39.5 at the Ravens versus Browns game. It's ugly because the Browns have Dylan Gabriel at quarterback, and he has become the social media punching bag. I have seen more just shit posts about his quarterbacking skills than just about any other quarterback in the league, next to Kirk Cousins. But that was short-lived because it was so bad. But Dylan Gabriel's given us tape every single week, proving that he's not the guy. What I'm hoping for in this situation, one, the Ravens score 40 points themselves and cover this outright. It's really what I need. But Lamar Jackson, in his 5 career games in Cleveland, the Ravens are averaging 30 points a game. The Ravens are 6-3 to the over this year, but since the start of last season, they're 20-8 to the over, as well as 18-7 to the over with Lamar Jackson. And the Browns' last 4 meetings against Lamar, the over is 4-0. Like I said, I had to make the case for this one being ugly because I just presented a lot of sexy things. That's the sexy part of the Ursulita pick. The ugly part is that I am telling you that the Browns are going to score a touchdown this week. That's tough. That's tough for me to say out loud, but that's the way I feel. I feel it could be a garbage time touchdown. Maybe Shador gets in, scores a touchdown. Anything's possible. I am taking the over 39.5 in the Ravens versus Browns game. That's my Ursulita.
You know, I really considered putting the Ravens as the toxic one, but I'm done backing shit teams with shit quarterbacks. I can't do it. I can't do it. And also, like, you look at Kevin Stefanski, 2-10 against the spread under Stefanski against AFC opponents who are under 500 straight up on the season. So, you know, the Ravens technically under 500. And I like the defense for the Browns at home. I've always said that. Maybe the in division, them being familiar with one another helps them. But I just can't bank it. I can't bank on that. I just want to add some context to that. However, my toxic one for the week, boy, oh boy, be very, very careful with the Dallas Cowboys as 3.5-point favorites in Vegas next Monday night. This Monday night, I should say.
Yep.
Nobody wants to back the Raiders, but the Raiders being underdogs at home. Look, bro, we got to go off what we've seen. With Brock Bowers at home, this offense came alive. Geno Smith was like, yo, fuck that. Generational player. Let me just throw it to him.
Yep.
And this isn't the best defense in the league by any metric. It's the worst defense in the league. So this is like, yo, Geno, if you can't keep us in the game to cover this 3.5, we got to look elsewhere. Kenny Pickett or whoever the backup is, we got to get you in there.
Yeah.
So with that being said, my toxic one is the Cowboys minus 3.5. Do not bet that. Take the Raiders at home as an underdog on Monday Night Football.
I witnessed it with my own 2 eyes 2 weeks ago when the Raiders played the Jaguars. The Jaguars were 3-point favorites coming into Vegas last week. I'll still stand on this. I mean, it was a short week between the Broncos and the Raiders, and it was an ugly, ugly, ugly nothing burger of a game, the defenses showed up. And the Raiders defense, prime time, there's a lot of shit rumors happening around the team of, what the future is really going to look like. There is no future right now. Your entire franchise thought it was a good idea to go with Ashton Genty. A year after you knocked it out of the park with Brock Bowers, you can't win every year. However, if you want to become a winning franchise that wins Super Bowls, that's what you have to do. So I love that. I'll be taking the Raiders in that one. I'll be taking the Raiders in the under. It's 50.5. I like the under. Yeah. I expected bigger fireworks from the Cowboys the last time they were on primetime, and they fucking shit the bed.
Yeah.
Do you have anything else on that game?
No.
Okay.
I do not have anything else.
Toxic one for me.
Sure.
Vikings -3 versus the Bears. The Bears are being so undervalued and looked over right now, but I really do like the way that this team is coming together. I like the Caleb Williams that has emerged. I like him so much that Caleb Williams is in my anytime touchdown parlay. I've spoiled it. But the Vikings -3 is a very toxic bet. The reason why I say it's toxic is because last week versus the Ravens, Minnesota had 13 penalties, 3 turnovers, and went 3 for 14 on third down. Minnesota also had 8 false start penalties at home, the most for a home team since 2009. I can't bet a team that has zero discipline. And when you get penalized that much, and those type of penalties especially, I can't back you. You're at home, and you don't have the ability to get your team controlled and reined in enough to keep a drive going. J.J. McCarthy isn't that guy yet. Kevin O'Connell wants him to be. And I just think that this is a spot where if you look at it from a outsider's perspective that really hasn't seen too much about the teams, but you just fill them in on the head coach and quarterback relationship, people would go, oh, the Bears should be favorited in this spot. It should be at least a pick 'em based on the way that the year's shaken up and the outlook for what the team could do. The fact that the Vikings are 3-point favorites here, I'm telling you, it's dangerous. They're not a team that you want to have your money on. So I'm taking the Bears in this spot. Very rarely do I bet the toxic one, but in this spot, I am. Toxic one, Vikings -3.
Okay. Can I throw a little bit of a wrinkle into our anytime touchdown parlay?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. I'm not going to do an anytime touchdown parlay. I'm going to do a 4-leg quarterback passing touchdowns parlay for this week. That just jumped off the screen for me.
Let's hear it.
There's nothing I like more than backing, if I get the matchup, and backing good players off duds. Give me Josh Allen, Jalen Hurts, Jordan Love, and Aaron Rodgers against the Bengals defense at home to throw 2 or more passing touchdowns this week. 10-1.
I love it. I love that one. Yeah, it's a simple premise.
Look, look, Rodgers is toast.
You had to back the Aaron Rodgers one up. You didn't say the defenses that they were playing, but you were like, Aaron Rodgers versus the Bengals defense, though. That's the only one.
Well, look,
the rest of the 3 will be good.
So hear me out. Eagles at home against Detroit. Not the greatest secondary.
Banged up secondary, for sure. That's a good.
A.J. Brown says you should trade me. They struggled offensively. Bounce back spot. Jalen Hurts has done really well for us in bounce back spots like that back in the offense. Aaron Rodgers, he should retire. Just leave now. Save yourself the glory. They're playing the Bengals. I like that. Josh Allen, sold bad. They get the Bucks at home now. Got to win after losing as a big favorite. And then Jordan Love against the Giants. If you can't go crazy against the G-Man, you might not be the guy. You might not be the guy. So that's mine right there. And, yo, can I tell you another thing? It's a kind of side note. Keep an eye out for Matt LaFleur to be fired if they spiral and don't make the playoffs. On the Monday night game, he was asked about, like, job security. And as I'm watching that, I'm like, I said, Kyle Shanahan, that's who I want if he gets let go to be the Giants head coach.
Wow.
Give me that.
That's a real, I like that.
Bro, think about it.
And you're thinking big picture here. That's a good coach to have.
Yo, listen, one of the following 3 coaches are going to get let go this year. McDermott, which we said last year. Matt LaFleur, if they don't make the playoffs, you made the Parsons trade and all that shit.
Mm-hmm.
And Kyle Shanahan, I think it's just, we just need to move on.
Right.
I'm almost willing to say one of those 3 is going to get fired.
It's interesting.
And immediately going to have a job within 2 days.
Yeah.
Same thing with like Mike Tomlin. Mike Tomlin gets let go because it's like, yo, it's ran its course. You know, there's been a graphic going around that Brian Daboll has more playoff wins than Mike Tomlin in the last 8 years, right? And like, you know, Brian Daboll got let go on Monday. So that was like a funny graphic. But Mike Tomlin's the same way. Like he gets fired, he's on a new team by the end of it. He gets fired on Tuesday, by Friday, he's holding up to New Jersey. Like that, you know? So yeah, that's like my hot take. I think Matt LaFleur might get fired from the Packers, and I think that's
a
the guy that I want.
question to be asked after your team was the NFC darlings 3 weeks ago. What a question to be asked. The press will tell you a lot. Not just them trying to generate clicks and anything. They don't ask that question unless that question needs to be asked. That's all I'm going to say. That's a very good on you for...
You know, let's put it out there, and if it comes to fruition, the graphic, you know?
And then you know who you need to go to right now. You need to go to Show and Sun and just be like, hey, Pop's probably missed this. He misses a lot of things. You seem to be more accurate. Just, you know, send him anything that you want to get run through the Giants organization, send to Show and Sun.
Yeah.
It'll get to him.
What's your anytime TD parlay?
Anytime touchdown parlay, 17-1.
Okay.
2 quarterbacks on it.
Whoa.
Caleb Williams, I hit you with it. Caleb Williams, playing a defense that likes to blitz a lot. Caleb Williams has been scoring as of recent on the run. Caleb Williams likes scoring on the run. I think he gets a little stimulated from that feeling. So I feel like he's going to try to do it again this weekend. Like that, Jalen Hurts, it's just a tush push. I'm betting on the tush push. It won't happen any other way. He was at plus 105 though. Remember last year Jalen Hurts was minus money pretty much the entire year because of the tush push. Plus 105, hop on it while it's still plus money. My final one, main event of the afternoon slate, give me Devontae Adams. 17-1 anytime touchdown parlay, Caleb Williams, Jalen Hurts, Devontae Adams.